What's up, folks? Just want to share a few things with you. Today's my first 10-gallon brew day. Finally stepping up to 10-gallon batches, and probably won't capture a whole lot of that on video. Just wanted to mention a couple of things about it, and then show you some other things I've done. I've gotten another, what you've seen in my last video, my hot liquor tank. Finally got it completed. Got stainless steel half-inch ball valve installed. That's from bargainfittings.com, and I have a video on the install of that if you want to look back. I'll link everything down in the more info section, so be sure and look down there. And I also got Bobby from New Jersey got his sight glass in, which I used on the other on my boil kettle. Same type setup, except for this one has the option. It's a T right here instead of an elbow, which I have a plug in right now because he didn't have any thermometers in, so I wanted to go ahead and get it in. So I have the option to take that out and screw in a thermometer so I can keep my temperatures checked right there and don't have to keep dipping my thermometer down in there when I'm doing my heating my strike water and sparge water. So hopefully in the next week or two or three or whatever, I'll have another burner. You've seen my little ghetto brew stand for my burner for my boil kettle. I'm going to do something different, and probably will end up changing this whole setup. I've got some angle iron. I have access to an old bed frame, and I'll have enough angle iron, and I'm going to make just a couple of little dollies with wheels out of angle iron for my hot liquor tank and my boil kettle to be able to roll those in and out. And basically what I'll do is I'll show you all that when I get it set up here in a little bit. I won't go through all that. Something else I want to show you. One of my videos a while back, I had, when I originally put up my kegerator, when I originally made my kegerator, I had my 10-pound CO2 tank and a couple of kegs inside the kegerator. I had only 2 taps at that time. Well, I added a third tap, and when I did that, it got to be even more cluttered in or crowded inside the kegerator there. It's not a very big refrigerator, so I didn't have a whole lot of room. So what I did was the actual regulators were fastened to the CO2 tank, and all that sat inside the kegerator. So what I did was move the CO2 tank outside. Like I say, there's a video on that if you want to check back some videos, or I don't know how far back, and check out that process. Put the CO2 tank outside, run a high pressure line inside, which allowed me to have a little more room inside, and I left my gauges and I mounted those on the back of the refrigerator, which I thought was the greatest idea in the world at the time. And it turned out to be not such a great idea, because as much as I'm swapping out kegs as fast as they seem to go, and doing different styles and having to crank these up to this PSI and sealing kegs and all this, but basically I had to reach in my kegerator a lot, move everything around, and then you stir up sediment in your kegs, get back to the back and try to see what your gauges are set on and all that. So last weekend we had a little party here, or a little gathering here at the house. Had just like a cookout, several friends over, and we knocked out 2 kegs, and the other one had just a tiny bit in it, and it was an old IPA that maybe there was a pint left, and I just said to heck with it. I took it all out, cleaned out my kegerator, and took that opportunity, since my kegerator was empty, to move my gauges outside. And I'm going to step in here and show you what I did. It was really simple, and I think I should have done this from the get-go. But let me get over here and show you. Really wasn't prepared for this, but basically what you'll see is, before, this CO2 tank, which sits down there, and that high pressure line, the high pressure line ran in through this hole, and then hooked to the gauges right here on the inside of the kegerator, inside back. So basically all I did was drill 2 more holes here and here, and of course this hole's a little big because it did support this line. And now I have all my 3 kegerator regulators fastened to the outside here, and I just took a little piece of metal and bent it over and strapped it with 1 screw to the side. There's no lines on the side of this thing, and it doesn't look bad. I mean, I guess I thought it would look good. It actually looked kind of cool. Makes for another conversation piece. So Now all that is outside, and as you can see, it freed up more space in the back, and I have 2 kegs in here now. One's a, believe it or not, a Bavarian Hefeweizen. For somebody that drinks IPAs all the time, that's interesting, but like I said, I kind of want to mix it up and learn how to do some other type styles and everything. And so now all I have right now is my 3 gas in lines in here, and I have plenty of room for 4 kegs when I get there if I add another tap, which I have 3 now. So that's that, and I have the 8-legged IPA on tap. Both of those are carbonating, and like about, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. I really haven't checked them. I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm going to learn how to slow down on these things and let them do that thing. But another 50-pound bag of 2-row. So like I say, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone with the IPAs and doing just something different. The Bavarian Hefeweizen, I think it's going to be okay. I missed my numbers on it when I did it the first time, but I'll do another batch and I'll get it nailed in. So, seems like there's something else. Oh, today I'll be using my March pump for the first time. I don't have anything mounted, but when I get things set up here, I'll show you a little more about that. But alright, I may show you some more through the day here. I'm not going to do a whole lot on the brew day because it's basically the same thing but just 10 gallons. So catch you in a little bit. Okay, just getting into the 10-gallon brew day. And just, I don't know if I even mentioned what I'm brewing, but it's I took Yoopers off a Homebrew Talker Dogfish Head recipe a while back and did it and enjoyed it, but the second time I made it, I changed it up a little bit. I think something maybe with the hops. It's continually hopped, and it's like Warrior, Amarillo, and Simcoe, and basically I mix all those together and just toss them in a little bit at a time through the boil. Since this is a 10-gallon batch, it's going to be 26 pounds of 2-row and 1 pound of Crystal 20 and 1 pound of Maris Otter. And since my little container that I wet mill in is not big enough to do all that, obviously, actually it's not even big enough for half of it. I'm splitting it up, so this is half of the 2-row, 13 pounds. Then I'll do the other 13 pounds, let it sit a little bit, and then I'll do my specialty grains and mill them all, mix them all up in a bucket and mill them. So just wanted to share the recipe with you. I don't even know if I mentioned it a minute ago, so there you go. So check it out. I want to show you how I got things set up right now. Heating up my strike water out here in my boil kettle. Got 9 gallons that I'll be pumping from the boil kettle, and there's my March pump into my mash tun inside, and the water's expanded a little bit. It was on the 12-gallon mark, and it's expanded up to about 12.5 gallons since the water's heated up. I started out with 3 gallons. I need 9, so I'll know when my 12 gets back down to 3, I'll have my 9 gallons pumped. And when I build my next little stand, I'll have my next stand will have a place to mount this pump on. So basically all I'll do is when my water's about ready, and I'm not going to video because it'll be too much trouble. I'll just open this valve. This valve will already be open, and it'll prime the pump. I'll let it, set a minute and run through the pump. I'll probably angle this a little bit so the outside's a little higher than the inside. And once the water gets to going through there, I'll turn the pump on, and as you can see, that silicone hose runs in here to the mash tun. Valve's already open, and should work good. And this is what a 1073 beer at 1.25 quarts per pound, 28 pounds of grain, 9 gallons of water, and a 52 quart Coleman Xtreme will give you. And I can just barely shut the lid, so That is definitely going to be the biggest beer I can do in this Coleman with that amount of water. Barely. So check it out. I had a little time to kill while I was doing my mash, and thought I would show you my hop plants, or hop plant. Back on April the 19th, I did a video, which today's the May the 15th, so it's not even been a month yet. I had planted a cascade plant, my first hop plant I've ever planted, or rhizome, and just kind of did it to see how it would do here in my neck of the woods. Hadn't really read that much about them, but as far as growing them. But anyway, like I say, that was less than a month ago, and when I did that video, they had just sprouted. I had like 3 vines, I think it was at that time, come up, and they were about that much out of the ground. So here's what I have today. I had 3 vines come on out pretty good, and I had 2 other ones come out down there, and they never did look like they was going to do anything, so I just snapped them off. If they grow back, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. I've been told first year just leave them alone and let them go, and you can see this one, it's already got a hold of my twine there, and it's doing its thing counter, or actually clockwise is the way I'm trying to train them. And these other 2, I just kind of pulled them back to give you an idea, so I'll keep training all those, the other 2. So I have 3 binds on that one twine there, and you see my tomato plant, or as we say here in my part of the country, mater plant. So it's coming along. Just something I need to get out here and weed eat a little bit around this thing, but I got my little fence up to keep the neighborhood dogs from urinating on it. But anyway, just thought I'd show you that, and you can see probably, I guess, maybe 6-8 inches, something like that, in less than a month. So these things will probably take on off pretty quick here when get into a little more hotter weather. It's getting that time of year, so I'll keep you updated. Alright folks, I'll show you one more thing, and then I'll end this video, because my first runs are getting about to be done here. Got 6 gallons, and things are going smooth. But basically, the way my stuff is set up, I've got my boil kettle sitting out here, and right now I'm using I have my hot liquor tank sitting out here, and I have it sitting on my boil kettle burner. And so I heat up my strike water, pump it into the mash tun, do my dough in, and then drain my first runnings off into my boil kettle. And as you can see, that's sitting on the floor. Right now I'm heating up my sparge water. I'll pump that in. I'll hook my hose back up from my pump, hook it back up to here, and pump in my sparge water. And after I get done with the burner for my sparge water, I'll roll that burner in here and set my boil kettle up on it. And then when I get done, when I run my sparge water over into there, I can roll the whole thing outside and start my boil. And so basically what I was saying earlier is I'm going to get another burner, and I've got the angle iron I was talking about. I'm going to put them both on wheels and have adjustable legs on the front for the slope in my concrete pad out there. And so I'll be able to set my hot liquor tank out there on its own burner and do my strike water and sparge water, pump those into my mash tun, and then the boil kettle will have its own burner as well, sitting on the same type setup. And that way I won't have to switch everything around and do lifting and all that. They'll both be on they'll both be on the dollies, and like I say, be able to push them around and not have to switch things around. And probably do away with the little wooden stand there and get a little bit higher wheels. And when I do that, when I build the stand for this one, I'll build it so I can mount that March pump, on the bottom down there. But maybe in the next week or so I can do that if something crazy don't happen. But I've still got to get that other burner ordered. I'll get another SQ14 because it seems to do really well. So anyway, there you go. A few updates, 10-gallon brew day, and hope I hit my numbers. And maybe next video I'll show you the new burner and setup and all that, in case I come up with something before then. got a Hefeweizen, like I say, on tap, so maybe I'll do a pour on that and show you what it looks like and how it tastes. I haven't tried it yet, but any comments or questions, feel free to lay them on me as always later.